So people, it's me, Wild Gameplay again, and this time I want to talk about diving. Diving. And unfortunately, it's something which keeps getting resurfaced because things keep happening. And to be honest, it's good. It's good that it keeps being talked about because then that's how you resolve things and make people aware of them and understand it. The reason why I'm doing it today is because yesterday, Gareth Bale of Tottenham Spurs has been accused and booked of diving again. It's the third time this season and the fourth time in the calendar year. His defence, first and foremost, I don't think any player is categorically a diver, as in they go about the entire game looking to dive as often as possible to gain as many opportunities as they can. Alright? But Bale's defence for going over yesterday under Craig Gardner's challenge was that there was contact, so I went down. There was contact, so I went down because I thought it was a foul. Alright, well, football is a contact sport. You can make contact with someone, legs can knock together, you can grab onto each other, you can hit each other's arms and shoulders and stuff, so that's gone out the window. He thought that it was a foul, so he went down. Well, it's not up to players to decide whether it's a foul or not. It's up to the referee. So, if you add those two things together, the crux of why he went down is that there was contact and that he thought that it was a foul, then you are a simulator. I don't think you're a diver. Well, in that specific incident, he wasn't diving, he was simulating it. He thought it was a foul, so he went over to emphasize that he thought it was a foul and that it should be given. But in football, it's up to the referee's interpretation and the referee's decision as to whether it's a foul or not. Alright, so according to the FA, the Football Association, whatever, Association of Football, the definition to them for diving is an attempt by a player to gain an unfair advantage by diving to the ground and possibly feigning an injury, to appear as if a foul has been committed, and dives are often used to exaggerate the amount of contact present in a challenge. Okay, so all of that, basically a player does whatever it takes to make the referee think it's a foul. Put it that way. Also, they do this so that they can receive free kicks, penalty kicks, and also provide scoring opportunities, as well as impact the opposition by getting the player a yellow card or a red card, or even a talking to, you know. It all accumulates towards something. So, Bale's incident yesterday, it's quite mixed. Some people think it's a dive, some people think it's a genuine foul, and he has every right to go over. Match of the Day pundits often say, I think it's Alan Hansen, he says, there's contact, therefore you can go over. Okay, fair enough. But if you go over easily, and the way you go over is not with you, if they go over the way they go over, if it's overzealous or exaggerated, then the referee has every single right to say, no, you simulated that foul, I'm going to not give the foul or the penalty, and I'm going to yellow card you. Gareth Bale isn't the only player who dives, and to be honest, he's been quite mollycoddled by the media. You know, every time there's a situation where he's dived, it's always like, did he dive, didn't he dive? Oh, let's be nice about it. And to be honest, I think that's stupid, because whenever it's someone like Luis Suarez, the media basically just attack him constantly, you know. They go through it for so long. It's not a one-day thing, it's not a two-day thing, it's like a week-long thing. And he's even being interviewed weeks after the alleged dive about it. So Bale needs to be scrutinised enough and analysed enough. Yeah. He's not the only player who does it, like I said. Like other players, Ronaldo does it, Drogba does it, had done it, sorry. Torres, these players have all been booked for simulation in one way or another. Balotelli's done it, you know. Defoe, yesterday, in the same game as Bale, he actually went over, he's with no contact, literally zilch, nada, not a tiny touch. But apparently because he didn't protest about it, or it didn't look like he had intent to con the referee didn't book him. But he went over, obviously to seek an advantage, because it wasn't like he fell over, his legs just went from underneath him, and that just doesn't happen unless you're trying to gain an advantage like that. Next is the case of that when people get tackled in a natural and normal way, when it's an actual foul, they fall in a natural way. They don't just. It's called the archer and bow thing, where their head knocks back, their hands go out of that, and their leg basically buckle from beneath them. And when you're tackled genuinely, you don't do that because you're not anticipating the tackle. It just happens. And even if you are anticipating the tackle, your body goes into defense mode. You cover your head, you cover your body, you cover whatever it is you've been attacked on. And these players who just flop over to the ground like they're in an opera to gain an advantage, to get the foul from the referee, that is basically simulation. You simulated the dive, you simulate the tackle, you've made the effects exaggerated to either gain a free kick, gain a foul, or get the person booked. So that is wrong. Regardless of what Bale says, there was contact, yeah, there wasn't enough. He could have carried on running, he could have had a shot, he could have probably scored from it. Yesterday, Walcott also got fouled in the box. He got taken out horribly, without a shadow of a doubt. It is a penalty, but because he got to his feet straight away, the referee he had his hands. It's for the referee to decide. He's the one who pointed forward, said, advantage. I'm going to see what he does here. Can he shoot? Can he score? If he doesn't, then I'm going to bring it back for a penalty. That is how it goes. It's not for the player to decide. It's a penalty. These players get tackled, and the first thing they do is stare at the referee. It's like, what? You want me to give you a penalty, or do you want to score properly? Like, of course you want to score, but if you're genuinely looking for the penalty, then fuck you, I'm not going to give you a penalty. Or if I don't think it's a real penalty, why should I give you a penalty? Just to appease, because you're a big player. Another thing that I don't get is that players are so strong when they're running in these non-key areas, but as soon as they get in the penalty area, I'm going over. It seems like something you would do, obviously, but it is happening, and it's always mostly around the danger area. Also, there has been studies done, I don't know the name of it, who done it, whatever, where basically they had a large group of analysts, behavioural analysts and body language analysts who watched hours and hours, like hundreds of hours of footage of players in top divisions, top 6 European leagues, when they went over, when they seemed to go over easily, and what parts of the pitch. And they identified 3 key things: is that players tend to go over or simulate a dive more when the game's either tied, when they're losing, or when they're in a goal scoring opportunity. They won't do it in the centre of the pitch. They won't do it in the centre of the pitch whilst they're winning 2-0. It makes no sense. It makes no sense really, and it makes no sense from their point of view. They basically weigh up the pros and cons of a dive. And the pros, as in scoring a goal, is very, very high, and the cons, getting a yellow card, is very, very low. So essentially, they're being enabled to dive or simulate, because the drawbacks are not even that high at all. In the MLS, players are actually reviewed after the game. Did they dive or did they not dive? A player was fouled, and the resulting player was sent off. After the game, the next day, they reviewed the way the player went down, determined that it was a dive, fined the player $1,000. It's probably not that much because they're footballers, and banned him for a game. So the conclusion of this is that players are encouraged to dive. The pros definitely outweigh the cons, unless of course you're Bale, who's accumulated 3 yellow cards from diving from simulation this year already. It's ridiculous, and it needs to be talked about more so people understand it more. Simple as that. I think I've said all I wanted to say about diving. I don't think I'll have to follow up any of this, but if you've got any other opinions, feel free to share, and stay tuned for some more. Hope you liked it, and peace.